How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Escape from the Planet of the Apes. This is from 1971 and is the third Planet of the Apes movie, coming out just a year after the last one. I guess these must have been pretty successful. This is directed by Don Taylor and stars Kim Hunter and Roddy McDowell from the past films, as well as Bradford Dillman and a special appearance from Ricardo Montalban. That's pretty cool. And yeah, this is, much like Part 2, a very weird movie, but also a weirdly enjoyable movie. I won't spoil Part 3 significantly in this review, but I will talk openly about Parts 1 and 2, so if you haven't seen those yet, go watch them. But Part 2, spoilers, things got super weird towards the end there. A race of human mutants that were still alive, that had psychic powers, and worshipped an atomic bomb, and then the whole world blows up. Well, that is one way to do a movie there. Very strange, but strangely watchable, as I said. But this movie is its own unique blend of strange. It's not the same kind of weird sci-fi movie strange as we got. This is what if apes were running around in the 1970s. And I do like, it's not an immediate take back. I think Planet of the Apes 2 really was trying to make the series into a duology. Planet of the Apes, Wrath of Man, they go together and have a definite ending. And you think you would have to rewrite that, say the bomb didn't go off or something like that. But no, they stick with it and they build on another new and unique piece to this very strange puzzle. And I do like that. Again, Dr. Zyra and Cornelius, as well as a third ape, escape in a spaceship, go backwards through the time rift, and wind up in the 70s. I like these two characters, Zyra and Cornelius. You know, having such a heavy presence in both of the last two movies, they really do feel like they've been the star of this series, and it does shake things up, you know. Obviously, the first two were more action heavy, and I do kind of miss that there's not much action in this movie until the third act. And also, the first two are more sci-fi heavy, exploring Ape World, you know? And I do prefer to run around Ape World than the human version. Yeah, you know, I like a lot of stuff from the first two movies better, but at the same time, we already did that for two movies. How can we shake things up, and how can we get out of that corner that the last guy wrote us into? So it's something that fits the story, it's something that is super unique, and still builds upon the other pieces and doesn't just take back the ending. So I can really appreciate that. You know, you get weird, wacky moments, just people in ape suits running around Earth, having a bit of fish out of water comedy, but also, you know, keeping the two leads around. It's weird because, you know, you watch, you know, the apes hosting a dinner party or something, and it is strange, but like the last one, it still pulled me in, despite of, or maybe because of, the strangeness of the film. And it is so different from the past two entries, but it does build in an interesting way, especially when we get some revelations towards the end of this movie. Yeah, it's strange, but it's cool, and I like it. Let's talk a bit about the plot in order to do a deeper analysis. I'm not going to do any major spoilers. I will talk about a few plot points in order to dig a little deeper, but I'll be avoiding the end. Anyway, we open up with this movie, quite an iconic scene for the series, where the military is pulling in a spaceship They open up and 3 astronauts get out with space helmets on, and then, as depicted in the DVD cover, they take off their space helmets and they're chimpanzees underneath. Which, okay, we all knew that was coming even if we didn't see the DVD cover, because we know we're watching Planet of the Apes 3. But that being said, I so hope that there was some people watching this on cable not knowing what movie was coming on, because can you imagine not seeing that one coming and then they just take off their helmets and their monkeys? That would be pretty cool. But anyway, they take them to a nearby zoo and they start to talk a bit once the people are gone, and we find out what happened since the last movie. Basically, you get this third ape character who, as soon as he found out about the spaceship, went and retrieved Charleston Heston's spaceship and got it working again. Which, okay, the 3 humans that built it couldn't do it, but I don't know, maybe he had a team of engineer apes or something, or maybe this ape was just that brilliant. I don't know. But he got Charleston Heston's spaceship working again, and the 3 of them took a trip in it, and from space saw the Earth blow up. Which, it really actually, one thing I like about this explanation is Zyra and Cornelius were sadly not in the last act of Planet of the Apes 2 too much, which it was sad not to see them too much in the end of that movie, but this movie explains why. So it really did work out as to, hey, they weren't in the last act. What if they were doing something? So that's cool. They go back in time. I'm guessing they hit the same, time bend that Heston came through, but going backwards or something. And which, that would only be like 1,300 years, so I'm guessing the spaceship also did the autopilot of the full course to get the additional 700, but that would be moving forwards in time. We'll just say the nuclear bomb changed it. I don't know. Either way, they arrive in the 1970s, sadly after both Heston and New Guy left, so can't prevent that from happening. But they decide not to talk to kind of, not play all their cards. And they're doing some intelligence test, and it is a funny sequence because we know the apes are smart and they're giving them simple problems. But I like that Dr. Zyra breaks the silence because they're trying to get her to eat a banana and she just refuses and she says, "I hate bananas." And I really do like her character, She's kind-hearted and caring in a world that definitely had a lot of gruff people in it. She tries her best to avoid conflict, but she's also stern-willed and no nonsense, So she's like, I get it, we'll be cool. Nah, I don't want to eat a banana. Hey, we can talk now, right? And the zookeepers just put them on, you just let them speak before a presidential hearing or whatever, which is okay, super weird. That maybe it's just my modern distrust of the government in general, but I think if we found space apes that we didn't know, we would put these things in like Area 51 and not like just some zoo. And then if we found out they could talk, we wouldn't just have a public conference with them. We would keep that secret. But in this movie, they don't. They have their conference and we're space apes from the future and we can talk, and now everybody just knows. They don't tell them the Earth exploded though. We'll keep that bit a secret. But anyway, people know, and they're like a media sensation. They're at parties. They have a wacky dress-up montage. Not as wacky as you would hope, but it's still a wacky dress-up montage. They have Zyra doing a speech on women's rights because, we're being topical and stuff. And it is kind of funny to see this is how this sci-fi element would interact with 1970s culture. And yeah, they would be quite the media sensation. So it is interesting to see them interact. But of course, things are going to start to slip. And I do like, the government obviously wants to know all the information, and kind of having Dr. Zyra have to sort of take the brunt of her culture and be like, okay, these things happened. I wasn't involved with that. That was the gorillas. They did that. But you're like one of the 2 people left from your planet. You have to kind of bear its responsibilities. And saying things like, okay, yeah, I did experiments with humans, but you guys experiment on animals, and I was a scientist. From my perspective, it was okay, but it sure does look bad in this world. And I do like that sort of 3-dimensional judgment and analysis of a character there. It's really interesting. But of course, things get a little heavy. We do get an action sequence. And yeah, probably wasn't the best to just tell the public about the apes, because, now it's a whole kerfuffle. But there are some interesting elements. Cornelius actually does give an origin story for the apes, which, Cornelius, did you know this the whole time? How long have you been sitting on this information? It's an interesting story. We do get more action and more grim and dire moments towards the end. Interesting stuff, and it does lead to this reveal, which I admittedly did see coming, but it's a trope that I really do like and adds a new piece to the mythos, So overall, again, it is strange, because you would think, okay, do Planet of the Apes sequels, make them episodic, make them more running around and having wacky adventures on Ape World. But no, we're gonna go in this strange path. We're gonna throw in time travel into the Planet of the Apes series, reverse time travel rather. But you know what? It's strangely watchable, and I don't know. I thought this movie was pretty fun. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom, and in this playlist you should be able to find my reviews for the last 2 Planet of the Apes movies. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.